Welcome to Recap 204. I'm Rick Vanover. I'm at home today. Maddie's at home today, but we are going to start a little different today. I've got honestly, some tragic news that we wanted to share with everyone. Um, Maddie, we've worked so hard on our Veeam 100 programs. It's our legends, our vanguards, and our MVPs. And over the weekend, we were really just devastated to be made aware that one of our members, Brad Jervis, unfortunately passed away. And Maddie, you made a couple of views here. Let's take a moment. And Brad was just such a part of the camaraderie of our programs.
Yeah, it's definitely not the best week. And yeah, this weekend we just woke up to really tragic news, as you said. Yeah, Brad was big part of this program. As you can see here in the pictures, he was with us since 2020, and these are like old pictures from the
Hmm.
from the Veeam 100 summit, from different Veeam events. That one is one that he shared Veeam user
Hmm.
group, and that's really
Hmm.
back in the days before pandemic.
Hmm.
Um, it's it's really heartbroken for all of us, for all our community, and yeah, it's just so difficult to digest. This very emotional moment. All of us in the community and in the extended product strategy team, we've kind of been you know in a very bad mood all these days since we found out.
Yeah,
So
it,
yeah.
it uh, it's hit our team. The community is so strong, and the camaraderie that it brings is something that it's like a family. It sounds crazy to say that. I know a lot of us established in our careers, we hear of coworkers or business partners from external organizations passing, but this one's different. So in fact, you go and you Google search Brad on the internet, and all the half the images are something with what he's done in our community. So take a moment here, and we'll remember Brad. As hard of a pivot as it is, it's necessary. But the community goes on. So it's funny because as weird as this week started, and we're recording Maddie a day earlier, we had so much content to share, in the sense of this week was is still a lot of content, even though there were these distractions. We're recording on a Tuesday, so let's pivot as we can to some topics, and we're going to start with Antonio, sorry, Andrea, talking about some object storage best practices, the way he's implemented it. And I love these types of things. And what caught your eye on this one?
Well, first of all, it's Antonio D'Andrea, so
Oh,
you
sorry.
got it right first time. So really great post from Antonio in here. And as you said, like this week was actually last week, not this week, but last week was full of amazing content, and you're gonna see as we go through. But yeah, let's start with Antonio. In his previous articles, he's sharing the links to his blog. He discussed the on-prem object storage as well as the choice of storage. Really recommend you to go over those. They are very good and in very detail as well. And in this article, he's actually approaching the subject of object storage as the main repository in Vim v12.3. And Antonio mentions an important thing in here. When you're getting started with object storage as a repository, it's really important to remember the backup block size. Um, that's used for the writing, because the size you choose in the storage optimization tab, configuring a backup job, affects how the data is divided and stored. So very important information to keep in mind. And then he explains how to calculate the space you need for your repository. And then he tells us he's using the object first calculator that we mentioned it, I believe, a few weeks ago, maybe, when Object First released this tool. and gives us all the details on the parameters he's using. Then he moves over to the process Veeam uses to write backup data to object storage, going in details on his test and the outcome of it. And it's, as I said, really in detail in there, and he has some comparisons as well of data. At the end, he's recommending a list of settings that will optimize the use of on-prem object storage based on the experience he got from his lab test and working with customers. And he's mentioning to never, never, never forget the 32110 rule. What's your takeaway on this one, Rick? Because you said like when you saw it, you were like, oh, this is such a good article.
Oh yeah, this is solid. And I really love that he's walking through the entire thing. And if I was to sum it up, I do encourage everyone to read the whole thing. But the way we built this implementation initially was with this 1 meg size. And it's kind of funny, we call it a block, but it's not really a block in the objects. Okay, we'll forgive it, but we do still call it block size. But if you think about the 4 meg, it's, in the public cloud, the thought was, I really want to reduce my consumption for cost and egress. But in the on-prem world, it's not as important. From I could think more about reducing IOPS and things like that. So if you think about the nature of public cloud and on-prem storage, this is like really a simple way to view it. But highly recommend you read this stuff because these little settings do matter. Antonio DeAndrea, thank you for getting this post out here today. Good stuff. Next up, link state, which always brings the good stuff, talking about upgrading a SQL database engine in Veeam or the Postgres SQL database engine used by BNR. This is a pretty good thing, and note that there's its response to a security alert and then some Veeam KBs. But what caught your eye here?
Yeah, so always like a link state, he brings pretty technical stuff in there, good stuff, always like demos that are, very practical and very usable if you want. And yeah, as you said, he's taking us through the process of how to perform a Postgres SQL database upgrade. And it seems like the community members' reactions are super positive in there. There were questions apparently around this topic. If you go to discussion boards, you're gonna see that like people asked. So most probably Link State saw the questions and he was like, hey, let me just put together this guide. And then he's talking about the procedure and he's telling us, hey, these are the steps. Ensure all jobs, policies, and tasks are stopped, and those that are scheduled to run are disabled. Then stop all Veeam related services on the Veeam backup server. Get service Veeam, stop service force. And one important aspect that you should keep in mind, and he says, hey, the most recent version of PostgreSQL may not be supported by Veeam backup and replication, and it is critical that you check the compatibility list in the Veeam backup and replication user guide for details, because you might just start doing it, and then you just might get some errors and you don't know why. And then this could be one of the reasons. So pretty good, solid article in there. Thank you very much, Link, for that.
Yeah, indeed. And definitely direct to that KB article. I'm not sure why that's not coming up. Maybe it's being updated or something as we're recording here. But one thing I'll say is definitely keep the underlying components up to date, but watch what we put in the KBs as well, because it's one of those things that the database, especially if, depending on the version of BNR, it might be not supported super new and things like that. So good stuff. Always be keeping stuff up to date. Highly recommended. All right, Luis is up, speaking of updates, with updating the Object First cluster. And I can tell you, this is a great series that he's deployed it and expanded it, but then updating stuff, again, pretty common theme here today to keep stuff up to date. Pretty practical stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that comes out of this article is he says one of the reasons to implement OTB is the ability to get updates, improvements, and upgrades straight away, keeping yourself in, in the important task of protecting the infrastructure and data. And basically, he's showing us via a short demo, what simple and straightforward of a process this is and why you should use object first. And it seems like he's not the only one, because if you look at all the community members' comments, they kind of agree with this, and they said like they also think they did that, they did the upgrade, and they said, yeah, this is very simple and definitely recommend it. And the
Yeah,
picture of
uh,
Louis.
I love that. The one thing I'll highlight that I like about the way UTB does its updates is this right here, how it will kind of bring in like what's new, what's fixed. I love that when you just, it's good to update in general, but it's also even better to know what is changing when these happen. So good stuff, Luis. And that's actually a reminder. I probably need to do an update on the one in our lab. So thanks for the tip, Luis. I'll read this and I'll do it. All right. Next up, Vanguard blog spotlight. Jonah May, youngest Vanguard ever, is talking about how to prevent VCLS from landing on temporary NFS data stores and why you should. Holy buckets! This is like it's almost like he's a service provider talking about advanced stuff. What caught your eye on
Yeah.
this one, Maddie? This is deep.
So first of all, I think this is the first time we are mentioning Jonah to the VBS section. So welcome to this section, Jonah, because I'm sure we mentioned him previously with other articles in our recaps and with the hackathon. So yeah, he's not short of mentioning, but this is the first time in this section. So he's discussing why you generally don't want the VCLS VMs on temporary backup data stores and how to configure your environment so VCLS VMs avoid them altogether. So now you might be new to that and you might say, okay, what is the VCLS? And Jonah explains the vCenter 7.x introduced the concept of vSphere cluster services, VMs, and they ensure critical cluster services like vSphere, DRS, and vSphere HA continue to run in the event vCenter server itself becomes unavailable. And then he also says like VCLS VMs are designed to ensure the health of your clusters, DRS and HA services, and they will automatically place themselves on any valid data store in the cluster. And he says, this is usually convenient, but not if you have a Veeam managed or a similar temporary NFS data store that comes and goes. So then Jonah enumerates why you don't want VCLS VMs on temporary backup data stores. And he said because of frequent unmounts and remounts, potential for snapshot, or lock conflicts, performance and reliability concerns, as well as administrative overhead. And then he gives us the solution on how to control or prevent VCLS VM placement. So very technical, very good. If you are new to this, but not only if you are new to this, in general, because I think it's quite new as well. So
Yeah, this is solid. And been a long time since I've been doing a lot of VMware at this level, but I totally get what he's getting at. I would maybe add things like dev storages or maybe something that's been unreliable a storage because then those other services could be impacted. Really good post there, Jonah. Thank you for that one. All right, we have a whopper of special department news here. And first is we hinted at this last week. Maddie, congratulations! You processed the H1 group of legends.
yes, so big congratulations to our new class of legends. We have 5 new members to the program, and this intake, we have less members than previous intakes, only 19, but it's such a fantastic group, very technical, passionate, and experts of the Veeam products, and I can't wait to work with each of them. They already like started posting a lot of the good stuff at the community hub, so that's fantastic. And for the ones that were not able to make it to this intake, that were part of the program, I know, there are other priorities in life. Life happens for all of us, and sometimes we need to take a break, but that's okay. This program is still open for you, so whenever you're ready, to be more active, to come back to the community, go for it. We're gonna be happy to welcome you back to the program. But yeah, that's a really great milestone. Very happy to be here with the legends now.
Yeah, and the only thing I'll add to that is now, given the maturity of all of our programs, really, we have very clear several examples of people re-onboarding, right? Again, they go through a project and change jobs, those things happen. But we have plenty of people. I'm not sure if this batch has any boomerang people that have come back in, but I know we've done it. So the path is clear. So congratulations, everyone, new and renewed, and good stuff. Good stuff. A lot of forums people, so that's interesting.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's great. We always
yeah.
like the forum people as well. And one more thing that I want to mention is that we are expecting to announce very soon the Vanguards and the MVP class as well.
Hmm. Hmm.
So all Veeam 100 is going um, to be announced soon, like to have all members, all the program
Yeah.
members. Maybe we're gonna even have like a similar post at the community hub with all the names, and I'm thinking that would be nice, good
Yeah, yeah,
recognition.
definitely. Yeah, yeah. So, and they all three are different programs. Maddie, even though we do the recap, you also kind of are the business owner for the Legends onboarding, and then Nicola for the Vanguards, and then Hannes in product management for the MVPs. So, but we all interoperate together on the V100 experience. So, rock on. Congratulations, Maddie, because I know it's a lot of work, and Sophia I think helped out a bit too.
Of
So,
course.
for
Always
sure.
Sophia. Thank you,
Always
Sophia.
Sophia. Oh man, always. All right, next up, VUG in Cape Town, beautiful city, by the way. This will be nice coming up on March 4th. In person, 2:30 a.m. I don't think I can make it, but it's at Loch Linney. Let's see, what do they got for an
That's
agenda? Looks
going
pretty
to
good.
actually be in-person event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I saw that it's in person, but it's 2:30 a.m. I mean, it's just because it always changes the time on me,
Oh,
but
okay, okay. Yeah.
looks like Exegrid will be there, and probably Ian Engelbrecht. By the way, Ian is one of the best technical folk in Veeam. He's also an MVP, but pretty solid looking agenda.
Absolutely. Like I would like to give special thanks to Ian, who's one of the MVPs, as you said, part of the Veeam 100 program, as we were discussing earlier. And Ian and myself, we've been discussing about having a Veeam user group in-person event in South Africa for a very long time, and it finally happens. And it's not going to be just in Cape Town. If you're gonna go to the events section, you're
Mm.
going to see that after this, there's going to be one in Johannesburg and another one in Durban. So
Mm.
I would have um, wanted to go there, but we are going to be
Roadshow.
in Seattle for that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for the team building. So it's going to be a little bit difficult to make it, but thank you very much, Ian, that you put together all these, and hopefully we are going to find the right leaders, because he's kind of following the example that we had with VUG Romania, the first event we put together, in-person event in here 2 years ago. It was actually organized by our system engineer here, Cornel, Razvan, myself, and this is how we found our leader. We extended the invite. We explained the responsibilities, and somebody, was like, "Oh, I really want to be a leader for the VUG Romania," and hopefully this is going to be the case for the VUG South Africa. So looking forward to all these great events that are coming in March.
And we do a good job of featuring them, but always just click on events up here and you can kind of see inline or online in person, see what's going on. And yeah, the dates don't really work for a good road show. You couldn't really do a triangle because it spans over 2 or 3 weeks. But nonetheless, big thank you, Ian. And then looks like Exagrid's going all in on the road show there too. So thank you for that support as well. All right, next community event to highlight. There is no AI without APIs. Holy buckets. Who's up to something? That's what I thought. Jeff and Marino, one of the, largest kind of cloud native personas there, Marino. I see him on all the social media pics with Julia and Jeff and stuff. But this looks pretty cool over in Kubernetes Corner.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, they are actually talking about a really hot topic, APIs and AI, and they will go over fundamentals of APIs and progress into how APIs are a vital part of AI. So I'm really looking forward. A little bit late for me as well, but I think I'm gonna join it. You have to actually register on a different page. This one is going to be hosted on a different platform. It's not going to be as usual on the GoToMeeting.
Mm-hmm.
It's not opening once
I
again.
I have had a bad computer day here today,
Yes.
so I'm just
Yeah.
gonna let that go.
That's fine. It's okay. But yeah, just for our community members to know that they have to go and register to an external page. So it's not going to be the GoToMeeting, the usual one. So great stuff. Thank you, Jeff, for bringing Marino to Kubernetes Corner.
Goodness gracious, I lost my screen share. We still are recording, so you know what, Maddie, this is just one of those days. This is just one of those days. So, do you see this
One,
share back?
I can see the share back. It's one of those days when technology is not
Nothing,
reliable.
nothing,
Yes.
nothing. I had to switch computers. Of course, I have a second computer here at home, but I think what happened is this one hasn't been on in a while, and so it's like updating uh, Thunderbird drive or Thunderwire, whatever that high speed throughput driver is. I think it's all. Let's just update it while he's recording. That sounds great. Anyways, thank you, Jeff. Good stuff. Looking forward to that coming up on March, in early March. Uh, Veeam benchmarking done right. Ooh, Veeam 100 show early March. AZ, Matthias, and you. This will be a good one.
It's gonna be a good one. We have Mate, one of our Vim 100 stars, and AZ discussing a project that Mate developed a few months back, and we actually discussed it because he put into an article. I remember that was like last year. Can't remember exactly when, but we definitely discussed about it. And yeah, in this session, he shows how performance can be measured and what impact the number of disks and parallelism have. And in addition, the traps that exist, and most importantly, the lessons learned to better design your backup storage in the real world. And it's going to be a really good show. Because Matthias knows his thing, so
Oh
he's a
yeah, and like
very
I love his community hub profile. This is a little bit more suitable for LinkedIn, but he's got like a server on his head.
yeah
It's a server hugger. I love it. Love it.
yeah
Sorry,
totally.
had to.
So but yeah, don't forget this is gonna be Thursday on the 6th. That's gonna be 10 a.m.
New York
New
time.
York time. You can still go to. We're gonna share the link in the comments, and you can just go to LinkedIn and register in there, and yeah, join us live to hear more on this
Awesome.
subject.
Awesome. Thank you, Matthias. Thank you, AZ, and thank you, Maddie, for hosting it. And then last up from you is blog of the month. So this would be the winner from
No, this is
February.
not the
Oh, the
winner. We
vote.
need a
Oh,
vote, actually. We need a
what's
vote. Well,
oh,
I shared the same link as this for the second
okay.
article, and then I could
Okay.
not correct it, unfortunately, anymore. I could not
Ah,
update it, the poll. So I didn't want to delete it because everyone was already kind of liking and engaging with it. So
Well,
I
that's kind of
just,
tricky because this one from who's that from this one?
Mohammed.
Yeah, so oh yeah, Mohammed's been like kind of promoted that way. Are you kind of seeding the
No,
market here? No?
I am
Awesome.
not. I am not. But yeah, these are like six fantastic articles, really good content, and you should all go and vote for your favorite. Let's have a badge for
Yeah,
February, right?
put a badge on it. Indeed,
Yeah,
indeed.
exactly.
All
And
right.
you should vote as well, Rick, after
I
this.
haven't. I try
I
not to
know.
vote ahead of time because then it shows my vote if I've already voted. Unless I went
Yeah.
unlogged in, but I've made that mistake a few times. Double check. When does it close? End of day, March 3rd. So
Still
that's
some
coming
time.
up. Yeah. All right. Well, hey, Maddie, great run of content here today. And, especially with our technical difficulties, I got a pile of computers here. None of them are working, so that's how my day's going. I'm home because the kid is sick. That's how my day's going. And then we had the really, heavy topic to start the episode. But just giving everybody just some some space to like think about things. It's like life is fragile, and just be thankful is my kind of unsolicited life advice because situations can change on you so quickly. um,
Absolutely.
got nothing but examples of that this week, but we know who's new. We'll come back to that next week, but thanks, Maddie, for prepping up a solid list of content.
Absolutely. My pleasure, Rick. And I guess we'll see everyone next week. Are we going to be in normal circumstances?
I do not have a trip.
Okay.
I can't say what you got going on. I don't know, because you should know.
Not
Okay,
anyway.
quiet before the storm when we head up to Seattle, I guess. So yeah, we'll probably save a little sneaky something for the week of the 10th when we got our whole team in Seattle. So
Oh,
we'll
yes.
see what we can do. Yeah, but thanks so much, Maddie. Thanks everyone. We will see you next week on I think that would be 205.